Hi there. Good morning. How are you doing? My name is Mr. Ed, and I'm so happy to be here today to do a streaming story time. And today's topic is art. Do you know what kind of art there is? Um, there's sculpture and there's paintings. There's all kind of things to make art. So we're going to read two wonderful books today. They are I Ain't Gonna Paint No More by Karen Beaumont. And see the boy? Look at all the paint he's got on him. The other book about art is called Art. And there's another boy, and he loves to paint as well. So, art is such a wonderful topic, and it's so nice to go see art. There's public art in parks, there's art in museums, and in the library, we have art. So behind me, you can see some collage, which these were made with just construction paper. And back here is a glisse print. And a print is a copy of the original piece of art. Do you like to do you like to make art? You can make art with Play-Doh, which is a kind of sculpture. You can make drawings with crayon. So there's so many different things that you can do to make art. So before we start, I always like to read a quote from Dr. Seuss's book, um, I Can Read with My Eyes Shut. And you see that? And it's a wonderful quote because it talks about the importance of reading. The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you will go. And that's so true. When you read, you can go to outer space, you can go to another country, a faraway country, you can go to an imaginary kingdom. You can do almost anything when you read. And then when you read about different places, then you might want to go there someday. And you read about things like art and music and dinosaurs and monsters and animals and all kind of things. So the more you read, the more wonderful the world becomes because you learn so many wonderful things. So in both of these books, we're going to see a shape, a particular kind of shape, and it's called a spiral. Can you see that? So both books have spirals in them. So let's look for that. And in between the books, we're going to do something very neat with this spiral. So let's start. I Ain't Gonna Paint No More by Karen Beaumont. One day, my mama caught me painting pictures on the floor and the ceiling and the walls and the curtains and the door. And I heard my mama holler like I never did before. Look at the boy. And you see down here? And he's painted just about everything. Look at that. And mama doesn't look too happy. You ain't gonna paint no more. That's what she says. Look, and she's put him in the tub, the bathtub, with his little dog so he can wash up. and get all the paint off of him. I ain't gonna paint no more, no more. I ain't gonna paint no more. See the boy? He's kind of sulking at the top of the stairs. And look over here. His mom has put the paint all the way up at the top shelf in the closet. That's what I say. I ain't gonna paint no more. But there ain't no way that I ain't gonna paint no more. That's what he says. Look, see him? He climbed up to the top of the shelf to get all the paint. So I take some red and I paint my, what rhymes with red? So I take some red and I paint my head. Look at that. His whole head is red. Now I ain't gonna paint no more. What the heck? Gonna paint my, what rhymes with heck? Gonna paint my neck. See there? Look at his neck. It's all green. Now I ain't gonna paint no more. Still, I just can't rest till I paint my, what rhymes with rest? Chest. He painted his chest. And what is this? Do you see that? That is a spiral. The spiral is like a circle, but it doesn't quite join up. It just goes round and round and round to the middle. So remember that. He painted his chest. Now I ain't gonna paint no more. Guess there ain't no harm if I paint my, what rhymes with harm? I guess there ain't no harm if I paint my arm. Look at his arm. Look at that. Now I ain't gonna paint no more. I ain't gonna paint no more, no more. I ain't gonna paint no more. But I just can't stand not to paint my, what rhymes with stand? Hand. Look at that. His whole hand is green, and he even painted a little face. See that? On his hand. Now I ain't gonna paint no more. Then I see some black, so I paint my, what rhymes with black? Back. Now I ain't gonna paint no more. Look, he's even using a roller brush, a roller that you can roll the paint on to reach around and paint his back. Now I ain't gonna paint no more. Like an Easter egg, gonna paint my leg. Did you guess it was leg? Because that rhymes with egg. Now I ain't gonna paint no more. Still I ain't complete till I paint my feet. Look at that. Look at his feet. And look at the poor dog. The poor dog's got paint all over him. Now I ain't gonna paint no more. I ain't gonna paint no more, no more. I ain't gonna paint no more. But I'm such a nut, gonna paint my. Ooh, what? Look, his mom has caught him. Y'all don't faint, 'cause there ain't no paint, so I ain't gonna paint no more. And he ends up where he started, in the tub. See there? He's back in the tub with his little dog. But he had fun, didn't he, painting all those parts of his body. So that's Ain't Gonna Paint No More by Karen Beaumont. So I told you we would see a spiral, right? And we did. We saw one in the book, and we're going to see another one in the second book. So here's the spiral shape. So you can make art with collages, or you can draw with crayon, or you can make a sculpture. And we're going to make a sculpture with just a piece of paper. Just a piece of paper. So you take a piece of paper like this and you cut out a shape like this, like the spiral. So ask a grown up to take some scissors and you cut along that spiral shape. And look what you end up with. When you finish cutting it, you can make a sculpture. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And it's all with just a piece of paper. So a lot of times when we make art, we have colors, we have paint, or we even crayons. And did you know if you only have these three colors, right? Yellow, right? Yellow, blue, and red. So what if you only had these three colors? How would you make green, orange, or purple? But you only have these three colors, right? So if you take yellow and blue and you mix them together, you get green. It's almost like magic. So what if you take red and blue and you combine them? What do you get? Purple. How do we make orange? How do we make orange? We take red and yellow, mix them together, and you get orange. You can do that with crayons, or you can do that with paint, and there's all kind of different kinds of paint. So this is our second book. It's called Art by Patrick McDonnell. This is art. Look at him right there. This is art. And this is art. See what he made? Art and his art. Can you tell them apart? Can you find art? Look at him. He's right here and he's almost camouflaged. He's almost disguised in his artwork. When art is in play, see him making art? Get out of his way. He's just splashing. He's just splashing the art on the wall or the canvas. He zigs, he zags. Look at that. He's zigging and zagging. He really gets wired. Look how much fun he's having. There's no stopping art when art is inspired. Look at all those zigs and zags he made. He draws squibbles that squiggle, dots, red, yellow, blue. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Splotches with blotches. See the splotches? And then he made some of those other mixtures of colors. And the curliest Q. What does that remind you of? That's a spiral. Art stares at the paper and uses his noodle. Look, he's thinking so hard. What's your noodle? Your noodle is your brains. To conjure up a perfect noodle, he makes a picture of a little kid. And noodles need houses. See that? Trees and cool cars. Look at the car he drew. A dog. You could draw just about anything. A moon and a billion bright stars. Look at all those stars. Art draws and draws till he flops in a heap. And among his creations, he falls fast asleep. He's drawn so much he's exhausted. Now let's be quiet to try something we've heard. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? That's everything he drew. The house, the tree, the car, the dog, the moon, and all the stars. Look at that. And when he awakens a little bit later, Art sees his art on the refrigerator. Held there by magnets, stars, and a heart. Put there by Mother, 'cause Mother loves art. Isn't that nice? So hopefully you've been inspired to um, make art with crayons or Play-Doh. There's so many things you can make to make a piece of art. So thank you so much for watching today, and watch every day at 11 o'clock Monday through Friday for Streaming Storytime. And check out the library's website for books about art or pretty much any topic you're interested in. There's always something for you at the library. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.